Hello everyone and welcome to data engineering video series. So in this video we are going to say three things. What is data engineering? We will have a basic overview of what data engineering typically looks like, and then after that we will see the roadmap to become a good data engineer. In that we will see a few technologies that are necessary in 2024 and going ahead, and what typical roles and responsibility a data engineer handles. So with that, let's get started. If you go on internet and search the data engineering diagram, you might find some diagrams like this one. I just took one diagram from Microsoft Azure Learning. So it has a lot of technologies involved related to Azure. So seeing this kind of diagram, you might get a bit intimidated that data engineering involves a lot of architecture and big diagrams and lot of technologies and everything. It's not like that. Let me try to simplify it as much as I can. So you might have heard in multiple places that in today's day, data is one of the most valuable things that every organization is trying to get their hands on. So suppose there are like multiple data sources. For example, there's Neo4j. It's kind of GraphDB. I will tell you later. So for example, this is one data source. There is other data source, and there are multiple data sources, and the goal of the organization is to build some machine learning model or any kind of, like for example, business analytics people may need the data to derive the business insights for the analytics purpose. So how do we get the data for that machine learning models and for BA people? How do we get that? So their roles, it does not involve to get the data till their end, because like getting the data in itself is a big task. You need to clean the data, you need to transform the data, you need to, sometimes there are legacy systems, you need to migrate the data. So it is in itself, it's a big task. So for that purpose data engineers exist. So it is a typical role. It does not mean that you will always do this type of work. You might sometimes build APIs, you might sometimes do other things as a data engineer. I will tell you later in the roles and responsibilities what kind of things you will do. But basic thing is, from multiple data sources you will take the data, you will do some transformations on that. You will do ETL. uh, ETL means extract, transform, and load, or you will do ELT, which is extract, load, and transform, and then you will provide that data to the Power BI, or like you will provide the data to for the process. So this is what data engineering looks like in an overview. This diagram is nothing but that we will implement going forward some of these things. For example, so if you see here, this bronze, silver, gold, so this is called a medallion architecture. In the project that we will be doing, I will implement that, and it will, you will get more clarity on that. This is Azure Key Vault and Azure Active Directory. So these are Azure services, like you can find this on Azure portal, where you will store password and other things, and the users will be managed by Azure Active Directory. This is Azure Data Factory. So this is used for building the pipelines to get the data. This is Azure Databricks. So Azure Databricks is nothing but like, so here is, we can write the code in the notebooks. It will involve transformation code and the cleaning code, or like we will schedule a job from here also, you can do that. So we will use this to get like the transformation on the data, and we will provide for the further process. You can provide to Azure Synapse Analytics. So it will have like for data warehousing, or like, and from there you can provide it to Power BI, or you can directly provide to Power BI. It depends on the organization's requirement. We will see that going ahead. So this is what a typical data engineering looks like. Now you might have heard that there are a lot of technologies involved in data engineering, and that is true. If you go on and search online what the data engineering technologies, if you take any diagram, you will see a lot of technologies. Here, see, there are so many technologies. So you might be puzzled that which one to learn of them. uh, so let me tell you, each organization has the different requirement for technologies. For example, um, uh, my data, I need my data in graph database. For example, let's take the example of Facebook. So the use case of the data would be you are friend with someone and he is following someone, so like that it will have the structure. So this kind of data you, it will be hard for you to store in relational database. So in that case we will need graph database. So some organization will require neo 4G as their database. There might be a healthcare organization, so they might need time series database. It captures like the data on like the time based format. So some organizations require influxdb. So if you go to any job openings and see there will be a lot of technologies you might not be aware, and you might think that hey, they have mentioned 20 technologies and in that I have just used 5 technologies in my previous organization, so should I not apply? So it's not like that. Everyone cannot cover every technologies. So you need to find some common ground, like which technology are most commonly used, and other technologies you will learn on the fly only. Like these technologies are like not that hard to learn. You will on the task, if you get task on that you can do that, no problem. But it, you should not get intimidated by that. There are a lot of technologies and I should not apply. You should not do that. For example, like suppose one organization uses this set of technologies. In your previous organization you have used this set of technologies. Other organization might specify in their job description they want to use these technologies. So there will always be some technologies that are common. You need to see that if I have done work on that, the core technologies, and if they are there you can apply for the job. Now let's see what are the core technologies that we should learn in this 2024 and going ahead. You might have heard about Hadoop and all the technologies. So these are used, but what I have seen in the market as of now, Azure based technologies are evolving, the cloud based. So these are the technologies that we are going to cover. Let me tell you the reason behind that. So Microsoft Fabric, the reason I have picked is it is relatively new. It is not as old as the Azure Data Factory and Synapse Analytics. It is relatively new, but it is an incoming technology because it is a SaaS service and it involves all the functionalities that Azure provides in a single workplace. So you can just so they have one like as a like ADLS Gen 2 layer. So and you can create pipelines in here. You can do transformations in here. You can just create a notebook attached to lakehouse and do those things. You can like create a warehouse in here. So everything you can do it in a single place. That is Microsoft Fabric. So this you will see in a lot of job openings going ahead. Even if you don't see that, the other thing we will need is PySpark. So it means nothing but Python and Spark. Python, you don't need such advanced level Python, but you do need to have the basic Python, such as writing the function, creating the classes, these type of things, loops and variables. So this type of basic Python you will need, because you will need to play with Spark because you will get data from Spark. So Spark will go into depth. Python I will cover one basic video. I will cover a basic few things that will require, that I will see, but Spark we will cover in detail. Other thing we require is SQL. You might have learned it in your engineering days or something, but I will cover it in 30 minutes or 15 minutes, like the basic things that we will need. uh, Other important thing is data warehousing. So people get asked a lot of question around this. For example, so data warehousing, this is like fact table, dimension tables, star schema, snowflake schema. We need to implement that. We need to provide the structure to our data. Whatever the data we get from the source, we have to do some structuring around it, right? So you will come across the terms like SCD, slowly changing dimension. So we need to provide structure to data. We can do that with the help of data warehousing. We will cover those concepts also. You need to have a basic understanding of one visualization tool. It can be anything, but most commonly it is Power BI and Tableau it is used. Tableau is free. You can use like download it and freely you can use. Power BI is more on organizational side. We will cover it in one video or two videos, like what we will need, and after that we will cover MLOps. So these are the few typical roles and responsibilities a data engineer does in his day-to-day work. We build pipelines to get the data. We do some transformations with the help of Python to transform the data in required format. The advantage of data engineering is if you are someone who is not comfortable with a regular basis of stakeholders exposure, because in data science field, you have to be in constant touch with stakeholders. What they want, you need to understand that, and in frequent basis you will connect with them. But for the data engineer, it is more of an back-end role, so you will connect often with the software engineers and the data science teams. So you will connect mostly with the tech people around in your organization. So if you are someone like who is not comfortable on the much larger exposure of stakeholder side, so this role is suitable for you. And one more thing about data engineering is you will come across the challenges which are like not easily solvable. What I mean is, by not easily solvable, you will have to solve the problems that are like not widely available. For example, you might need to build some connector. That connector you will not come across on the internet, that how to do that. So you will have to go on the documentation and do the research work on that and build that. This is one of the example. So these challenges you might come across. This is a pretty challenging job, but because of its challenging nature only, you will get a lot of money out of that. This is it in this lecture. In next lecture we will start with Microsoft Fabric. The Microsoft Fabric we will learn in detail what it involves, what components it has, and we will go in detail of that. And once we cover all the topics, we will also do some interview questions so that we will know what to expect.